Now I'm out there. Now I am totally 100% spun out. Hated everybody. I hated God. I hated the world. I hated because I tried. I did. I tried suicide again. End of January 23, I went off deep end. It says come back from the dead because the situation went like this. Down and back from the relapse when I seen the hurt in her eyes and heard the hurt in my daughter's eyes. I couldn't live with myself. Pulled out a 380. I put a hollow point in it, cocked it back, put it in my waistband, went in the basement, pulled the gun out, cocked. Boom.
And what is going on, everyone? Welcome to Mind Over Madness, little special edition. I think this will be our first. Well, even though Keith, you're out there in West Virginia, it's kind of like our first in-house interview. Got my good friend here, Gerard Gilroy, and I think you guys are going to really, it's funny, Gerard reminds me a lot of Bobby. Gerard's the Bobby from Canada, and I think Bobby's in the crowd. What's up, Bobby? I'll give you a call after the show. But and Keith and Gerard just met. We just got backstage for 2 minutes. So Keith, Gerard, Keith.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, dude.
Thanks, man. Appreciate being here.
We've been trying to set this up for a while, but shit, fucking, we all have lives. Life
Just
don't
to
wait.
set the record straight, real quick. I'm from Virginia. It's a whole other state than West Virginia.
I keep thinking,
West Virginia, people have sex with goats and cousins. In Virginia, we don't do that.
That is true. A lot of how can I say it? A lot of knocks in out in West Virginia.
Oh yeah, inbred.
Yeah, inbreds.
Yeah.
So my son
He's been everywhere, man.
College in West Virginia, so I guess
good school.
Yeah, well, I'm sure around there, though, they keep it though. All right, but no, listen, I what do I know? All I know is down 81. I went to Fairfax County, which was in West Virginia.
West Virginia, the state of Virginia, not West Virginia.
Okay, got it. So anyway, so tonight, folks, what we're going to do is thank you for being here in the chat. Please talk amongst each other, and we're going to just talk a little bit amongst us three here, and then after, because we're releasing the full episode of Gerard, like you saw in that intro this week. So for now, just kind of going that, talking about introducing Gerard to you. He was on the Loomis show a while ago, my patio, but this is a much better location. Wi-Fi sucked back then. So thank you all for being here. And Gerard, I guess like we'll me and Keith will bounce off you, but just start it off there from where you're from and just tell us. Go from there. Where you're from? Who were you when you were like in junior high, or even younger? Tell us wherever you want to start.
Well, I was born in Long Island, New York. Lived in Massac Beach for a while. Hung out in the Bronx, Brooklyn Heights. My uncle's a New York City cop. My grandfather was pretty wealthy from things I remember. So I remember doing stuff up in there at an early age. I lost a lot of my childhood, man. I don't remember a lot. I remember, the situations happening with my my brother's dad that I mentioned there about my sister and me getting molested by him. And then after that, I think around 10 or 11.
Well, the people don't know, like, just, you tell it, like, slow, if you don't mind, just slow it down a bit.
Sure.
Because that's a serious thing.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, my brother's dad was a child molester, and me and my sister were kind of, I guess, just test guinea pigs, if you want to say. And my aunt and uncle were in New York. He was a New York City cop, and they tried to get us away from them for a while, away from my family for a while, but They just couldn't do it. So we were actually chained to the floor, and the dog slept on the bed. And people say, "Oh, that's a lie. That's a lie. He's bullshitting." Well, my aunt told my girl, and she was just shocked that it was true. That how can somebody do that? Well, you know how it is today. People can do anything to kids, but
It's true.
but man, 30 years ago, it wasn't like it is today with children, youth, and the police and all that. So, and I mean, look, we lived in pop-up campers. And I remember one time, I think I might have been, it was right after the dog bite, so it had to be maybe 8 years old. I remember living in a pop-up camper on Patchogue on well, I guess it'd be the bay in the middle of winter, and that was cold, man. Like we went from having things to not having things. My mom, she was all over the place. Like she was all with different guys. My brother, and now we're thinking my sister have the same dad, and I have a different dad. So, I mean, so growing up through there, I mean, I remember some things, but from what I understand, you put a lot of that trauma away and you never reopen it. So after a while, my brother, uh, like we were telling my mom what was going on, and she didn't care. She didn't want to hear nothing. So we finally told my brother, and he took us to the police, and they listened. So his dad worked for the Long Island Railroad, which is, the LIE, I guess, or maybe I'm wrong about that. It's been years. But anyway, he was a train conductor. So when it went to the police, it went all over the news. And kids would always be making fun of my sister, dropping comments to her. And, she was my sister. So I was the littlest one out of the family. So I would try to protect her. And man, I got my ass beat a lot. But, she was my sister. I didn't care. I would die for her. So after a couple of years of that, they moved us up to the Poconos, and after about probably a year,
You go to different families? Are you like,
well, I went. Yeah, my mom moved us up to the Poconos, and then after that, she just split. She was gone. And I think I was around 12, 11 and 12.
you're 12 right now?
And yeah, around
You're
between
12,
11, yeah, between 11 and 12 when this happened. So, I was in school, and they called me down to the office, and I was never really called to the office unless I was dragged down by a teacher. But I remember looking at Wallen Paulpack, and it's just real. It's a school that you would have to understand. You'd have to go there. So I looked at one end, and I seen a state trooper. I turned, I looked at the other entrance, and there's a statey. So I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, huh. And I went into the office, and they were like, sit down, and they were like, "Where's your mom?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm in school, so I don't know. You tell me." And they said they got a call that we were left in the house with no food. And my sister was about 2 years older, so she was probably about 15 or 3 years old. Yeah, she's three. So she's 15. My brother is 6, so he was about 17. So I was the only one that went to foster care that day. So they take me from Lake Wallenpaupack to Milford, Pennsylvania,
Right.
and bring me up in this room, and I'll never forget it. This big fat guy comes in, suit and tie, and he's like, "Well, you're not going to see your family till you're 18." Now I'm starting to freak. I'm like, "What? Wait a second. What are you talking about? Like, I'm a young kid, 12 years old. Like, what do you mean I'm not going to see my family again?" And he says, "Yeah, no, we're taking you in front of the judge, and we're going to award you to the state." And I'm thinking, yeah, right. Okay, here we go. So I tried getting out, couldn't get out. Finally, I got tackled, they calmed me down. Went in front of a judge immediately. That's how they do it. And, they said, "No, we're gonna put you in a foster home, and you're not gonna see your family till you're 18." So that was quite a big shock, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I bet. Now, Keith, you're a cop. Do you run across a lot of people though like that? Like, orphans and stuff like that out there?
No, not a lot, man.
No, really?
Not in the city. It was I mean, usually like we'd run into a house and there would be some kids that were obviously not taken care of. You go in the fridge, there's no food, they have no heat, all that stuff. I would say 8 times out of 10 we could find a relative that was competent to take care of them, like a grandparent or something like that. So no, it's in my experience, it wasn't common where I worked that we had to call CPS. We did on a few occasions, but it wasn't common, man. And yeah, just from the part of like people not believing how you were treated back then, I think it's just like before all this, we talk about this a lot, before all this social media stuff and podcasts and internet, it's hard to fathom if you haven't lived in that environment. So it's hard to believe it's true because it's just like, growing up like internet, it's not on TV, it's not on the news. It's like, that stuff really doesn't happen. But nowadays, when you're hearing about it all the fucking time, it's like,
Yeah,
holy shit, man, it does happen way too much, man. And just, I mean, you hear about it all the time like it's regular practice. But I was fortunate enough where I didn't, experience any of that. So like, to me, all this stuff is, the amount of it that's actually going on is actually mind blowing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, back in the 80s, man, it was like it was real common. I mean, and CPS doesn't change anywhere you go. They're still ran shitty. People don't care. They're overwhelmed. There's not much they can do. Big cities especially. So I mean, the first foster home I went into, and this is how my luck ran, and you'll hear this through the story. My family knew them back in Long Island. He worked with my brother's dad, and they left to come up here, and I happened to get placed with them, which was really like, people say, "Oh, that shit don't happen." Well, let me tell you something. It happened. I can prove it. And I was with them for about 9 months or so, maybe close to a year. And then his dad, the dad came home on the weekends, and there was the mom and 3 daughters and 2 foster girls. So I always got the shit on the stick. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Now you're talking to somebody who's 12 years old, who's come up from a city. So I really didn't give him much respect. Well, he tried to beat it out of me. I mean, some days he was successful, other days he wasn't so. Finally, there was a point where I just had enough, man. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this motherfucker. And sure as shit, I did. And I'm not going to say how, but I remember him chasing me through the house. And now you're talking a house in Kitadensis, Pennsylvania, which is in the mountains up by Promised Land State Park.
Yeah.
So I jumped out of the window, and it was winter time too. And I grabbed a coat, I jumped out of the window, and I ran up on the roof because there was no jumping out the window because you'd break a leg. So I stood up there for a good, 3-4 hours, and then finally things calmed down, and I got away, and I went to a buddy of mine's house. I was like, "Yo, man, I need to stay here." So I crashed there for a little bit. And then I turned myself into CPS, obviously, because, they were looking for me. So, then they sent me probably about 4 miles up the road from that house. But my foster parents at this time were Christian people. 2 best people I ever met in my entire life. I've never seen them argue, never seen them fight. The only thing they asked was to, do chores, go to church, and get good grades. Now, for me, no one ever said that to me, so I was like, huh, all right. And I did for a while. I did real good there. But back in that day, people were just coming up from New York all the time to the Poconos. It's not like it is now where everybody in the Poconos is pretty much from the city or Jersey or, Long Island. Back then, there was only a handful of people. So everybody knew each other, like in town and stuff. So I would say, probably about 85, 86.
Yeah, but how fucking weird is it though, man, to fucking just be like from like with your normal family and then all of a sudden no Keith get that? Because I mean, you're very aware at 12 and then you're just jumping to other families. Like, tell me that's not a mind fucking half.
No, it is, especially if they're separating you from your siblings, dude. Like I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
Did you have any contact with them while you were in foster care?
Well, my sister, yeah. My brother, he lived up the street. No, my mom, she, there was a supermarket out there called Dutch's Market, and it's a bigger place supermarket now. But back then, it was in the middle of Newfoundland, which is a town. And I went to school with one of the owner's son. So I worked there. My mom would come in and I'd be stocking shelves and she'd look at me and go down another aisle, or I'd be at the register and I'd be, ringing people out. She'd go to the next register. And if there wasn't open, she'd walk out.
That's got to be so fun.
And I kept running out saying to her, Mom, like, what's the problem here? What did I do so wrong that, like, you're not fighting for me? Basically, she wouldn't say nothing. She would just get in the car and leave. Other times, she was like, you're just like your father. You're going to end up in prison your whole life. You're going down the same road. Well, I looked at her and I was thinking to myself, wow, like, what the fuck is this woman talking about? So years go by. I'm doing good. Getting a little bit of trouble in school, fighting. I was always a fighter, man. Everywhere I had to go, I had to fight, no matter what. So at 16, the judge was going to award me back to my mom. My sister was there. The judge said, Mrs. So-and-so, I'll give you back your son. And she turned around and said, fuck you to the judge and fuck him. And the judge looked at me, shook his head, and he's like, actually, and here's the other part. I was under a different name in school. So when I graduated and left and went to go get my license and my high school diploma, it was under a different name. So they never had a record of me being in school. So, yeah, it's crazy. I don't even know how CPS didn't pick up on this because it was on my birth certificate.
But just change it. I don't know. It's fucked up.
It is. So anyway, he's like, Mr. Strobel, I'm going to have to award you to the state until 18. And I'm thinking, well, 2 more years ain't bad, And then all hell broke loose. Got into a bunch more fights. Started hanging out with the older crowd. Getting in a lot of trouble. I remember beating this guy down so bad in school because he was a bully. And he was picked on one of my friends who were handicapped, and I just had enough. And I went in the classroom, and I hit him, and I drug him out, and I was pounding him in the locker. And down there, the Stadies come immediately. Like, they're 5 minutes away. So I get down to the magistrate, and I'm sitting there, and cop's like, this is a serious charge. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Fuck you, man. Leave me alone. Like, at this point, I've had enough. So I get into in front of them and I look back and here's all my teachers, man. They all came in and they were like, look, he's a good kid. He just, somebody was picking on his friend who's handicapped and he just went crazy. And they were like, well, Job Corps or St. Mike's. And I was like, well, I guess I'll go to Job Corps. So I was sent to Job Corps about 3 weeks later. And I was up at Red Rock. That was all right. was all right up there. I learned a bunch of shit, you know.
Yeah.
But through some of from then to 18, I left a couple of things out like the dog bite and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but then like I mean, we're gonna release the interview and stuff
Yeah.
right now. We're just talking about
So
and how long were you though around though? Like when you I mean, not to jump too far, I know when you started though coming like around like
here,
what brought you hit through here, yeah.
I just got out of Job Corps and I was 18 and they were like, hey man, you graduated your course. Here's your money. See ya.
Yeah.
So I mean, my sister lived here, so I knew somebody here. Otherwise, I would have probably slept in the woods for a little bit. So I found a place. So I came out here to stay with my sister, and everywhere I went around here, it was whether it was Dillon Street Park or it was where we live now. It was always a fight with people. It was always those groups.
Yeah.
So I was, and plus Gerard. That's not a common name. So back in the 90s and 2000s, it was my name was known to the city. And then I mean, I stayed with my sister for a while, and
where do you think all that though violence came just from the upbringing they had naturally?
The what?
Like where do you think the anger came from? Like just from the upbringing?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit.
Yeah, upbringing's like everything, man. Like it's all Keith, today. Oh, I don't know how much you know from being like just like not saying just, but I know you said that you don't deal with them a lot. But what are they called? CBC or what the fuck?
CPS, Child Protective Service.
CPS.
Like they don't like scandal like the like the parents ever or whatever.
Yeah, they're fucking half the people that sign up for that shit are criminal, pedophilia, fucking abusers that do it for them. I mean, they get paid pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. Yeah, they do.
The more kids they get, the more money they get, man. And half of them treat the kids like absolute. They treat them like a piece of property, like
their paycheck. It's a paycheck. Yeah.
But you know what? It's so overpopulated, man. There's nothing, and it sucks because there's kids out there right now that are going through what I went through, just today's version of it, and that's shitty, man. Because when your back's up against the wall and you can't get out of a room or you can't get out of a spot and you're fighting for your life, man, and you can't beat the person in front of you, a lot of things come to your head, man. Like, I want to kill this motherfucker. What can I grab? And, seriously, and I think that's where all the resentment and anger just bottled inside over those years,
Yeah.
Like a lot of times when you call CPS too, man, it's like when they arrive there, they have the attitude like you're bothering them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
you get there and they're like, what do you guys want? And we're like, well, this kid probably hasn't eaten in 2 days and hadn't had a change. And then they act like you're bothering them for the day or something. When I dealt with them, I didn't have pleasant experiences with them either. So I can't imagine, the experiences the kids had because they obviously didn't give a shit for the most part.
Yeah, they don't. They're almost like how can I say this? They're almost like child support officers. All they do is sit in an office and they're cozy. They get paid a good, good pay. They have pension, all that. And what they're really looking at is like, if it wasn't for these kids, you wouldn't have shit.
Yeah.
And I know you can't help every kid in the world, but the ones that come across you should be proud to help them.
Good.
You should want to help them. If not, get out of the field. That's that simple.
How early was it that you had like your first drink of alcohol or smoked weed or whatever?
Yeah, the addiction part.
Probably around 11, 12. I knew this guy. He was a Vietnam vet. His name was Perry. I'll never forget him. He was a great guy, man. I did a lot of work for him. So that's how my work ethic was so great. But he used to drink Jim Beam or Jack Daniel's Green all straight. And back then we tie stick and all that. The good hash was around, so he always had it. So that's when we, were smoking with him, because there were days I would just hang out with him and my foster parents. They knew where I was, but I mean, you know, they after, and let me just say this: when I say my foster parents, so about 3 years of me hanging out with them, and then my second foster home, even though they were Christian, they knew I hung out there with him because he was like the town vet. So everybody, gave him respect for military, but they knew I was getting rocked. But yeah, probably about 12, I would say. That's when I started drinking, and then uh, smoking weed, cigarettes, and then got into probably around 15, 16, doing some coke, and then mushrooms. And because Florida back then, you used to be able to drive down in Florida. They had big fields of mushrooms, and you can go down there and just bag a big bag and drive home. That's how it was. And so my sister's kid's father used to always go down and get him and come back. But I was never into psychedelics, But
No.
I mean, no, not really, because I don't
consider that I mean, I don't know anyone takes them every day and has a problem though with them, but they can be beneficial.
Sure.
And if they're used though, right, like that ibogaine. Or you ever hear that, Keith?
Oh yeah,
Conor McGregor. Conor
Ibogaine.
McGregor just did that, and they're like saying it's Mike. No, it wasn't Tyson. Tyson did the toad, but McGregor just did the ibogaine. He's like, they're saying that he's like changed and all this stuff, or he's not doing coke anymore. It's so good for him. But I mean, I heard that shit. I know a guy who was in and out of rehab constantly. You would always think there's no hope for him. He went down there, did it. It's been clean for like 12 years now.
Yeah, I believe.
What were you gonna say, Keith? Sorry.
I've done a lot. Yeah,
Absolutely.
There's a lot of special forces guys that go down there and have done that, and they speak very highly above it. The problem is, it's like 10 grand.
Yeah. Could imagine. And look, for each for everything. I was I was a drinker, and I didn't like falling asleep when I was drunk. So back then it was yellow meth, and that's when I think I was like 16 when I first did that, and I was zooming right awake. And for years I liked the speed. So, but I knew when those days you could do something, stop, get your shit done, and so on. But when I came out here when I was 18, it was just on. I mean, I had access to everything, and I mean, amounts of it. So that's when I started getting into coke real bad. And man, a lot of
coke that went through here, man.
There wasn't a day I didn't have an ounce of coke sitting somewhere by just to do whatever. And the drinking got worse, and then the fighting, and then 21, forget about it. That was over with.
Yeah.
When I turned 21, man, I was working in Newark, Camden, Trenton, Bridgeport, Connecticut. We were taking, we were like in Newark, right across from the University of Medical and Dentistry. There's a bunch of like townhouses. And that was one of my first jobs down there.
You know what, though, Keith? We kind of grew up, though. It's like, I think you'll even admit this. It was always like, I mean, everyone hung out, we're friends, though, but it was just always like fighting, just constant like fighting. And like, that guy's not a fucking guy, that fucking crew. He thinks he's tough. And then, people start having certain names and this and that. So it's instead of like shooting people around here, we just fucking smash.
There's always just fighting.
There's always just fighting. Always. That's all it was.
I mean, there was
every
one
night.
Gun situation with Richie, but
no, there's a bunch. But I'm saying though, not like
today,
yeah. Well, no, not today. I'm saying no, like no one killed like around here. Well, there, I'm saying like not a lot.
Right.
There's more just constant fighting, and
yeah. I mean, dude, I fought every day of my life here. Every day I was fighting someone new down at the park. Every day. Whether it was stupid,
Dylan.
It was you said this, you said that, and listen, I never backed down, man. I've got my ass beat, knocked out, but you know what? It didn't matter. It didn't matter. 2, 3 of them jumped me or 6. I was coming back for you. Best believe that. You weren't going to know, but I took my licks like a man, and I got up and I walked, and that's for sure. And
see, at least you can admit though that you got your ass
Shit,
kicked.
dude,
A lot of people are always like,
absolutely.
"Oh, I fucked up everyone." No, you got your ass kicked a lot of
No,
times.
I'm 5'4", dude. I grew up getting my ass. I mean, I would fight too because it's just I wasn't gonna back down. But yeah, I definitely got my ass whooped plenty of times. But after a while, they were just like they kind of like I don't know, I guess 17. My last 2 years of high school, they were just like fucking Shibley's crazy. So we're not even gonna fuck. We're not even gonna try to fight them. We might beat them. I used to tell them all the time. I'm like, look, man, I'll fight you. Because you know how we fight back then, the crowd comes around. I was like, I'll fight you. And if I lose, I'm supposed to lose, man. I'm lit. But if I win, I was like, how fucking embarrassing would that be for you? They kind of start thinking about it for a minute. They're like, oh shit. And then they eventually
you know what they're thinking about though, Keith? They know though that if they fight you though, they're gonna be in a fight. So that makes them hesitant as well. You know what I mean? Because you don't take you're not taking a back step.
But I definitely wasn't fighting every day. I wasn't even fighting every week. So
yeah, no joke, dude. I was gonna fight every day here. Every day.
Yeah,
every goddamn day here.
Yeah, that good. When I was in high school, because you're a little bit older, all those guys like Timmy, fucking Jonesy, the fucking constantly, every day.
Gerard, I tell you this, everybody in the chat's a little upset that Loomis doesn't have a busted lip. I mean, apparently.
Oh yeah, when he caught me, that's how we say what's up.
Hey, busted Loomis.
I could do it real quick. You won't even see it coming.
Yeah, go ahead, motherfucker.
At what part? And yeah, we're gonna play your full story, and I can't wait to see it. But at what part did you realize like that alcohol and drugs, or one or the other, was like a problem? Did you know it for a while, or was it just your life?
Probably in my 20s, man. When I went down south, Daytona, between Daytona, Panama City, Tampa, I noticed. Well, let me switch back a little bit. So, my early 20s, I got in an accident down in Panama City in construction and got hurt. And the pain pills were not like they are today. They were around all the time. So that's when I started to know there was something wrong. The drinking, it was just, you drank every day.
It's par for the course, right?
Yeah,
that's what it felt like,
that was just normal. The coke,
just went with the drinking.
I guess it really got out of control in my late 20s. I had access to a bar down there, and I had access to the safe. And people down in Florida, man, they tip you coke. It's like, so there was a couple points I called back home and said, hey, I got to come back home, man. I weighed 98 pounds. Get me on a bus, and I would sleep all the way home. But
some coke though, like
coke, crack, down south in Florida,
yeah.
Dude, crack and coke down there is like nothing what compared to here ever. So that was when there was the problem, and it wasn't the problem. I guess it was the thinking of I'm going to go home and get better. Like I got to take a break, more than a problem. It started to be a problem in my late 30s, early 40s. That's when all drugs, all of them, boom, came at once, and started to be a problem. And now,
wait, it wasn't a problem though when you were smoking crack every day?
No, I was working. I had money. I had a townhouse. I had cars. Like, you don't think of that. You know what I'm saying?
That's what. I don't know if you've heard my thing, but when I got hurt at 37, and when I got a taste of opiates, it was off to the races, man. I love that shit.
It was like you're normal.
I love opiates, dude.
You felt full.
And yeah, dude. So it was probably my late 30s, early 40s, but that shit grabbed me by the balls and squeezed, man. I was in for a ride after that stuff. But yeah, dude, opiates are the devil.
Yeah, back in my early 20s, that's when the oxy mills came out in Florida.
And you could get them though like that
in
though,
every
like,
state.
you know, and like there's Doctor, what the fuck was his name? He got caught though.
Which one? The one that killed his daughter, his baby. Oh, Robert Pitson.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Fuck.
Oh, he's
But dude, even in
oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, he's taking a piss, but go ahead, we'll talk.
yeah, I mean, even in my earlier in my police career, early 2000s, before I knew, I mean, we were stopping people at the airport because they would literally fly to Florida and get, you know, a prescription every month and come back and sell half of it to regain the cost of the trip and still have plenty. And they had the whole cocktail, you know, they had the Oxy, then they had the Vicodin, then they had whatever, the muscle relaxer. They gave them the whole gamut of that stuff. But I remember seeing that early on. But that was before I got the hooks in me.
Yeah, but you were even saying though when you went in there though. What's up, Brett? Thanks for being here. Everyone, Gina, Bobby, everyone out there, thank you for being here. Matt, Annette, just want to say hello. Thank you. Appreciate you. But you were saying though, man, like you would go in though, and then like, hey doc, you know, I only, you know, I just did 2 or what, or these aren't working that good, and he would just boom, just keep handing you. Like you didn't even have to like try to like fucking finagle. It was just like boom. So that's just like legal. That's pretty much the legal street, like drug dealing, though. I mean,
yeah, 100% it's legal drug dealing, man. I mean, that dude knew my discs were fine for fucking probably close to a year, and he kept giving me shots in my back because, you know, I paid the $20 copay, and he's getting a couple grand from the insurance company every time.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking crazy. You know, doctors are legalized drug dealers. Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And back in those days, though, it was so much easier, though.
Yeah.
Something Dr. Teeny. Okay, I'll figure out the name, but yeah, he got nailed.
When I got clean, and when I was going to the fucking meetings and stuff, man, I've met 3 or 4 people that had the same doctor I did.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could just go in because you know the word of mouth though travels. Dude, just go in there and tell him this or come over this way.
Craziest thing was, man, when I was in Florida,
that would have been terrible.
I've seen tractor trailers backed up to doctor's office and money machines just flying through. And I knew a doctor down there. He was real cool, and he's like, "Hey, Gerard, you're a pretty big guy." He's like, "Yeah, I could use you." And you know, my name got real known fast down there too, Panama City and Daytona. I mean, I knew a class of people, and some shit happened, and one of the bars were getting robbed, and me and my buddy, his name was Jay, from Bridgeport, Connecticut. He was a sick fuck just like me, and we stopped the bar from getting robbed, and I mean, we got shot at and shit. It was crazy, but we didn't get hit with them. But we sure jumped behind a bunch of cars and garbage cans. But you know, we stopped it. But they were like, "Hey, man, we heard your name, this and that," and you know, once you get a reputation one place, you get it in another place real quick. So you know, we were watching these oxy mills just open everywhere, and bags of money, man. Doctors didn't even know. They couldn't even put in a bank account, so they were stashing it everywhere.
The Cross Valley Pharmacy we had closed down.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So that was probably when I knew I was getting out of control. Because, you know, once you go to the opiates, then you go to the drinking, and then you go to the coke, and then you go back. You know, it's a never-ending cycle, you know. You get high, you want to come down, you take some opiates, some benzos, and then you're like, oh, man, your friends come over as you're half asleep. Come on, man, let's go. And in Florida, you run 24/7 because it's beautiful down there all the time. So you're always running. So, yeah, I guess that was when I knew there was a issue. And then
so basically, no, Keith, if you're smoking crack every day and making it to work, you're good. No issue at all. But if you're not making Lawrence Taylor though was saying, did you ever hear that? He smoked crack during like his whole career. And he'd be like, I couldn't wait to get off. Yeah. It's like,
I mean, that was my mentality too. I mean, I had a government job with a top secret clearance, and I got paid every fucking week, and I paid my mortgage and I paid my bill. So I was like, what's the fucking problem?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, you're right. Though I mean, if you're big, if you're getting shit
I was
done.
making a shitload of money. I had beautiful women. I had cars. I had my own house. I mean, it was so when you get up in the morning and it's sitting right there, you roll over, you take a whack, you got and you get in the shower, you brush your teeth, you eat, go. It was just a fact of life, just like the opiates, man.
Yeah, but that coke life, though, you're like living fast, though. Like,
well, the opiate life.
Scorsese filmed, though, that the best of Goodfellas know how that is, though. Like when he's looking at the helicopters and shit, though. Like when you get all paranoid, that's exactly how it is. Like daily on that life, though. And even when you sell it, though, Keith, you can't even fucking enjoy spending it because if you're doing it, it's like that the money. I don't know. You just know that you can't sell coke and think that you're gonna just get away with it forever, and you're too paranoid constantly.
Here's how it goes, man. You either go all in and you go to jail and you come out and you have your money, or you don't do it at all and you just use it for your own use. I mean, there's no in between. You're getting nailed.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's
gonna catch up to you, though. Absolutely. Though.
Well, yeah, it all did catch up to me. It caught up to me. In my late 40s when all that happened.
So how old were you when you explain that? What happened to you, though? Like about the suicide shit. What happened with that?
All right. Well, I used to drink every day.
Excuse me, I don't mean the suicide shit. Like throw it out there like it's nothing. I just realized like my own head's like you're a fucking douchebag, Loomis. I meant like explain that.
It's okay. It's fine.
So before the pandemic, I used to drink every day at work, no problem. And then I met this girl, and it took us a while to get together, and then we got together right as the pandemic. And she isn't into drugs or drinking, and we would be sitting out having bonfires in the backyard drinking, and then one day it just stopped. I mean, because she'd go to bed early, and I'd be like, I wanted to be with her, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stop, and I did, and I was, surprised, but don't get me wrong, I was still on Suboxone, man, for the opiate use, and the benzos for the anxiety, and for I'm not gonna lie to you, for the pleasure, the benzos. But what led up to it was I heard the stories from the girl I'm with, and and I told her I will never hurt you like that, and in 22 of February I got hurt at work, and I knew I was going to go downhill. I just knew it. I knew it was a bad time to get hurt. I dealt with a lot of shit from it. And that year of being hurt and going through the doctors and workman's comp and all that shit, and which is another cycle, man. Just the aggravated stress of not working, being hurt, having the headaches, just the shit from a job that didn't, they'd rather pay a fine than fix their equipment, or to make the place safe. So anyway, I got hurt, and about, I would say a year later, I got my lawsuit for about $50,000. And instead of talking with her and putting it away and dealing with it, as soon as I got the check and it cleared, I bought a Harley for my buddy. And,
buy anything for yourself?
Yeah, truck, a bunch of drugs. I relapsed. Like, I wasn't on no drugs for years, and I relapsed. And I don't know what it was in me that made me do that. I think it was the fact of like I couldn't take life on life terms, and now, before this, I had a couple of suicide attempts. My two kids passed away in 2011, 2012. Um, I I tried killing myself on both events, and I had a substantial amount of money when they both died, and I pissed it all away on drugs, alcohol, everything. You name it, women, everything, the whole spiel. Trying to kill myself, and every time I would go and do whatever the case, the drug was I did a bunch of it, and I woke up. I was like, God damn it! Like, what the fuck, man? I didn't want to wake up today, so I would do it all over again. Same thing. Wake up next morning, buddy's looking for me. Where you at? Make sure the Mustang wasn't smashed. Just everything. So So that was like 2 years of just insane chaos, man. And uh, when she got pregnant with my daughter, I didn't want it, and I told her I didn't want it, and there was this line out of her mouth saying, "What happens if this is the only kid I could have?" And so I really wasn't close to her. I really just kind of stayed drinking in the bars, pulling myself away because I did not want to bury a third child. And even when my kid was born, man, it didn't change much. Like, I wasn't happy. I was happy I had a daughter. I wasn't happy in the relationship. I wasn't happy in my life. But before that, I had friends to pick me up from hotel rooms and stick me through to me into, the psych ward. And, you're there for 3 days, you get oil change, you come out because, you tell a doctor, look, man, I'm fine. I'm just going through some bad shit. So there's about 4 occasions in my life that I tried suicide and it didn't work. And the biggest moment is right after getting hurt in 22, April 23, when I came back to the house and I spoke with my girl and I just seen the hurt. I seen the disappointment. I seen the same look of every other person in my life. You're a fucking loser. You're never gonna change. You're always gonna have, that stigma of drug addiction, man, is always with you. No matter what, you've been clean 20 years, and you're gonna run into that one person who's gonna say, "Oh, him, yeah, he was a drug addict, and he still is a drug addict." I know, I get it, but I'm saying you never run out of that stigma. My other kid, I have an older daughter's mother, kept my daughter away from me. And here it comes that they were worse than I ever was. And, I still don't have to speak to my daughter today because of them. But when I seen just the look and the expression and the anger, that's when I just said, you know what? I promised this girl I would never do that. I'm out of here. And we were arguing, fighting. And I said, fuck it, man. I'm done. So I went upstairs. I pulled out the drawer. And I grabbed the 380 and I put a cop killer in it. And I clicked it back, put the safety on, put it in my waistband. went down in the basement, and she come in screaming at me still, arguing with me, fighting with me. And I'm like, can you just leave me the fuck alone, man? Like, just give me a break for a minute. And she said something, and I think I said, it can't get much worse but this. Or she said that, and I said, and I thought she was calling the cops because of the argument. I don't really remember. I know all I remember was, I'm out of here. No matter what, in about 30 seconds, I'm out. And she said something, and I said, all right. And I grabbed it, and I looked at her, and she was going up the steps, and I said, is this what you want? Click. Boom. Didn't even fucking hesitate, man. When I felt it, all I said was, heaven and hell, here the fuck I come. And I walked around the basement. Yes, a minute, maybe 30 seconds, who knows? And then I remember them taking me out in the ambulance. I don't remember anything else until I was in the emergency room, and I was like, wow, this fucking hurts. And I said to the doc, yo, can I get something for pain? And he said, son, what I'm about to do, there ain't nothing for pain. They fucking cracked my ribs, dude, and I was out.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude, right here. Right here is where he cracked the ribs. This is right where the bullet went. Right there. It literally went in.
Yeah, that wasn't a cry for help. Jesus.
No, it wasn't. I was out of here, dude. I didn't want to live. I was ready to go.
I can't believe you shot yourself right there and you're walking around the fucking basement.
So, with a hollow point, yeah, but
Dude,
that's what
a
the hollow
shredder.
point, those what saved him, though.
No, it was a shredder. That's what I wanted. I wanted to shred everything. I didn't want to live, dude. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I
but
put
that's
in
what
there.
saved you, though, from it the way how it dispersed out of you right there.
Yeah, what happened, I guess, was there wasn't, from what the cop told me, there wasn't enough air between the nozzle and my chest. If there was another half a inch or maybe an inch, it would have tore everything. I guess.
Yeah.
All I remember was waking up and they were discussing surgery, and I said this person's in charge. And then I guess a couple of days went by. I was in a induced coma, and I opened my eyes and I couldn't talk because I had fucking 3 tubes down my throat and 2 out here. And all I remember was looking up, and my niece was there, my girl was there, my stepdaughter was there, and my brother from Florida was on a video call, and I couldn't relax because I couldn't breathe. Like, I had all these fucking things in my throat, so I kept passing out. And she came in and calmed me down, and the doc's like, she can stay in here because she's the only one that could calm me down. And I was just like, holy shit, how the fuck is this? I'm thinking in my head, why am I here?
Yeah.
Like, I did not
Well, you
want
were
to be
pissed
here.
off when you woke up?
I was more confused, pissed off, hurt. I mean, at that point,
No, meaning like because you're still here, like because you didn't get the job done. Were you like fucked, or were you like
yeah, I know. I guess I was a little bit of both in a way.
shocked a little bit too? I mean, you put
Yeah,
3.8. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't expect to wake the fuck up. I didn't want to. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: my dog wouldn't let the cops down in the basement for almost like 15 minutes. Man, they thought they were going to rescue, or not a rescue, a mission, or like when somebody dies and you guys go in. He's like if you have a standoff, just say, man, and the guy shoots himself, and you guys recovery mission. So that's what the cops were thinking. But my dog finally came upstairs filled with blood. They came down and they said, no, he's still alive. And
so they didn't even come down to get you till
they wouldn't. They wanted shoot my shepherd, and my girl was like, "No, you're not shooting her. Like she's protecting him." So it took a minute
I've
for.
unfortunately, I've been in that predicament.
Oh,
I've shot a dog. I've shot a dog to get to the person before. It was a pit bull.
no,
There's nothing
I get
that pit bull was not letting me near that dude, and he was still breathing.
when he's coming at you.
He was behind a chain link fence at Christmas Eve, dude, in fucking like 04. And the guy was behind the fence, and he was stabbed up, but he was still breathing. And every time we'd hit the gate, the pit bull would run up and just. So I had my partner go around to the back and kick the gate so the pit bull would take off. And then as soon as he heard me start to open the gate, he'd come right back. And dude, I tried to spray him with mace, and the dog was just like, "Fuck you." And finally, like I even got on the radio to go to my supervisor. He was like, "Man, do what you got to do to get to that guy," because the ambulance was there. So unfortunately, I did shoot the dog, and the guy who did, I'm not making it either. But yeah, it's not fun. Then we started using like fire extinguishers, because if you use a fire extinguisher on a dog, that you can basically guide it. Like we use it and kind of back it into a bathroom, shut the door, and then go. So we didn't have to. Somebody came up with that, but yeah, man.
God, yeah, that's fire.
Hey, it's better than shooting the dog. I mean,
Yeah,
dogs don't know what they're going on, man. They're just trying to guard their,
100%, man.
you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it was, and here's the crazy part, and people still they're like, "Oh, this didn't happen." I wasn't even home 2 hours, man, and my girl went to go to get my meds from Rite Aid, and my fucking house caught on fire. By the time she came back, the fucking cops were there, fire engines. It was crazy, dude. A fucking toaster blew up as I was in the bathroom. I'm thinking, my God, man.
It's a fucking. I don't mean to laugh, but
No, but people couldn't believe it. They were like, "What do you do now?" And then I'm like, "I didn't do shit." I said, "The toaster fucking."
Well, yeah, up. They're kind of gonna be like, you don't got that good of a rap.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
It's been a wild journey, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I appreciate you telling that, because it can't be easy to talk about. But
no,
there's got to be a higher purpose for you, because I've never seen someone shot that close to their heart and walk around and then be conscious and then fucking live to talk. Like that's that's a 1 in a million. That's a 1 in a million, survival rate right there, man. In my opinion.
Yeah.
And no, even the cop that came to the house, because I was out in 5 days, and I still had a hole in my chest. I was cutting grass, weed whacking. I was being busy.
5 days.
5 days.
You were only in the hospital 5 days.
5 days, dude. And I can prove that. And I had a hole in my chest. I packed. I was out cutting the grass. I was doing everything I was doing before. I had to stay busy. I couldn't.
Well, let me ask you this real quick, and then obviously people will watch the full episode when it comes out soon. But after that attempt, what has made you not want to do it again?
The fact that I'm not good at it? No, I'm just kidding. I got too much
dark humor.
I have too much to lose, man.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what I had, what support network I had. I didn't realize how much of a good woman I had or have.
All the people when you woke up to that he said.
Yeah,
to me, like you don't reduce it. Keith, you can know this too. Gratitude's fine to hard, man. It's hard to find. I mean, when you're in the depths of that.
So I mean, yeah, I never. I can't say I never thought about it, but I would do stupid, dangerous stuff at work. I guess because if I got clipped at work, I mean, it's a payday for the family.
Right.
Yeah.
But people saw it as balls of steel when it really wasn't. It was
right.
It was trying to take that way out. But when you close your focus into just like, especially when you're using, drugs, alcohol, or whatever, it's easy to think that everybody would be better off without you until you see the other side of that stuff, man. Until your vision opens up, you're like, I would have fucked up a lot of people if that had happened, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, man,
Yeah,
that's a great story though.
Yeah, that's one thing that I did see, and I still see today. No, and listen, I go to counseling. I talk bi-weekly. I talk to 3 different counselors every month, man, and a psychiatrist.
Mhm.
And and I'm not gonna lie, I still think about it. I have a nephew who um, called me from Florida. He had 9mm to his head. We had to call the sheriff's department, Panama City, go get him. Um, Here's what it is, dude. People don't realize this. Nobody wakes up and says they just want to do it. It's a mental illness.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem because it's a stigma on it. And the last 3 years, mental health has been getting more of a light on it than anything. And I think it needs more. So I turned my life around and became a certified recovery specialist. And the reason why I'm not working in the field today is I'm still battling my demons, man.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I'm still here's how I felt about that. The director of the drug and alcohol program of Luzerne County called me and said, Mr. Gilroy, I heard your story. Now this is about a year after the suicide when I changed my life to being sober, straightforward, everything. He said, I heard your story and I'd like to scholarship you into this program. So I did it. And, I am a licensed certified recovery specialist, but I don't feel it's right for me to work in the field when I can't control some aspects of my life still. Does that make sense? I don't want to be a hypocrite.
No, you're being honest, man.
You know what I'm
You gotta
saying?
respect that, Keith.
No,
Yeah.
for real. I mean, I know a bunch of counselors that smoke crack all night, get up, drink, and go to work.
Yeah.
And they're counseling these kids and these people, and
Right up
they find
the mountains, crazy.
Right, and then they find out, and they're like, "Well, I'm not going to trust that person again. Well, I don't want to be one of them." So that's why I'm not working in the field today, man, because I'm still battling.
You don't trust yourself.
I was in front of a judge
You
for.
don't trust yourself.
It's at this point not yet.
Okay.
I was in front of a judge for a custody hearing, and she came out and said, "He's a drug addict." Da da da. And the judge or master stopped and he says, "Mr. Gilroy, you an addict?" I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "I can't tell you that I'm gonna go home and not use today." I said, "Or when I leave here or get high." I said, "I can't tell you that because I don't know." I said, "All I can tell you is the next 3 hours I'm not going to use."
Yep.
And he sat back and he was like, "That's what I wanted to hear." So I let her run her mouth a little bit more. And then I said, "Your Honor," I said, "she's an addict." And he says, "Oh, really?" And he said to her, "Are you an addict?" "No, I'm recovered." He said, "Wait a second." He says, 26 years I've been sitting here and I ain't recovered. He says, "Tell me the magic juice and I'll bottle it and I'll sell it and make millions." Yep. He goes, "Because let me tell you, Mrs. Hunter, you were never recovered. You are in recovery." And it's the truth, man. If you say you're recovered and you have 20 years, in my opinion, you're going to relapse.
I've seen people with 20 plus years slip. I've seen
it. They think they could do it again, though. Like they think it's a whole new chat. Like that's 20 years ago. I could have a fucking absolutely.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, Gerard. I mean, that's awesome that that's awesome that you're still working on that. But I'll tell you, from my experience talking about like substance abuse with like law enforcement and military people, because it is a problem. They get so much more out of listening to one of us than they do somebody with a PhD, that hasn't lived it or whatever, because they want somebody that's been in their shoes to tell them how to kind of go on the right path, not somebody that read it in a fucking book and has some letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. The first thing I do is when I go to a counselor or something like that, I'm like, were you ever addicted to anything? No. You might be good at what you do, but right now, you're not the person that is good for me. I don't talk them, but I just tell them they're not good for me.
Hold on, let me just.
Can't hear you, buddy. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Loomis is hitting buttons again, folks.
God, fuck you.
There you go.
What I was going to say is, you want someone with a PhD on the streets instead of fucking someone in the fucking college books. I mean, Keith. I mean, did that make you feel more comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, I want somebody. I want somebody that's been there and done that, dude.
Yeah.
Now I see a counselor. She's an older woman, and I'm 51. She's a little older than me. She's never did drugs or alcohol, but I like what comes out of her mouth because it's true. She's not there for a paycheck. She's there.
Well, it's good. It's now, like, I don't mean to interrupt, but it's good to have a balance too. You have
right.
The medical professional people that went to school do have a place, but you get something different from them than you would somebody that's lived there. They definitely still have their place. Don't get me wrong, but
right.
But it's just, in the beginning stages of, or like your nephew or whoever, when they're in crisis, man, someone with a PhD, in my opinion, can't really help them at that point. Like, what are you going to say to them? But someone that's been there and lived that same exact level of crisis can usually talk someone down, at least for that day,
And that's what I had to do. And then he calls me now, and he calls me just about every other day or texts me. But I'm 1,200 miles away from him. You know what I'm saying? So I understand his chief complaint of what's going on, but he also has to talk to people. And down in Florida, in the Panhandle, it's not, mental health ain't looked apart like it is here. I don't know what Virginia being a Commonwealth state. I know if you don't work, the state picks up your insurance and you have good insurance, and then you get just counseling stuff you need. Florida's not like that because it's tourism, so they don't have the ability or the people to help, and that hurts me because I keep telling them, look, my mom is 87 years old. She's dying of cancer. She's gonna die. I've made my peace with her over the last 38 years, 39 years. And she never calls me. My brother goes over there and takes care of her. I have to go through him for her to call me. And I bought her a car during the pandemic, man. I was like, look, I get what you did, Mom. I don't, I'm not cool with it, but I understand you had mental issues.
Yeah.
My dad, I really don't know. He spent most of his life in prison, so I tried to ask her, like, what was he like? What kind of, now, especially I'm 51, I'm a type 2 diabetic. I just found out, like, I don't know my family's history.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to pull it out of her, and it's just like, so I told my nephew, Bud, you got to watch that because mental illness is on our family, and it's shitty, man. And it's just like a drug addiction, man. It's waiting for you every second of the day.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's what the drug. It's not the drugs. It's the mental health shit that causes you to take the fucking drugs in the first place.
Some people do benefit from some mental health drugs, and
I'm talking about though, like from the actual addiction.
Right.
Drugs,
Well, my nephew doesn't do drugs. That's the thing. He never. He's been sober since.
No, that's not. I forgot though. Yeah, you're talking about nephew. I'm just saying in general.
With us, I mean, and do I think about suicide today? Sure.
Really?
On a bad day, yeah. I don't act
Do you
on
ever
it.
don't think about like
But
the fact though that like you know what you did's quite remarkable though that you're still
sure,
here?
that's why I pick up the phone or I do an extra session with my counselor that week, because I know that if I stir in my head too much, one, I'm going to relapse huge, or I'm going to blow some shit up and go out there in a blaze of glory, or go into a bar and start drinking. So I now, and it's weird because before the suicide, I couldn't find anybody to say, hey, man, I'm right here. No hotlines, no,
Yeah.
nothing. After it, there's a ton of it now, and the one place that I was under supervision, once they knew it happened and it was under their care, they tried to do what they should have done in the first place. I could have really got them in a lot of trouble, but what was the point?
Trouble for what, maybe?
Like just the counselors, the doctors. I asked to come off this. They wouldn't take me off it. They kept just raising my dose, and it just kept going out of control. So, and I told them, look, I'm not getting nothing from your offices. Like I need something. Like I need to talk to somebody, and I need to talk to them now. Like shit's rolling out of control. Like my mind is going. I'm racing. Like, I'm hurting. I'm feeling low. Like somebody, please help me. And nope, they rolled me right out the door like nothing. So a buddy of mine worked there as a counselor, and he tried to get me on his list because he's like, yo, I know this guy. You guys aren't doing the treatment that he needs. And once I was out of that facility and I passed the CRS test, I felt better. I felt like I had a purpose. And
That's big though. You got to have a purpose. That's huge.
and now my girl's MS is getting worse, and and that hurts me because dude, they have so many different drugs for all these other leukemia now. They have almost a cure for that's reversing it. Some cancers, but they can't seem to get a grip on MS. And that
What cancers? I wish they had a cure.
dude, lung cancer they can cure. They
can cure it, but they don't. I wish they. Where's the cures? Well, there's the natural.
Dude, there's a lot of people that had lung cancer that don't anymore. There's
I know,
a lot of new treatments,
but there's not like a definite.
No, but what I'm saying is that they
could still be here.
They pancreatic cancer they can't. Lung cancer they have these new drugs that are actually starting to like heal you. Like they're getting them. You take I just watched the thing on it. I'll show it to you later.
What are you talking? Like, do you ever make them?
I don't know what it is.
Larry takes that stuff though. The ivermectin.
If you stay up to smoking and you do the treatment, lung cancer can be, fixed.
Well, I don't plan on getting it though. Anyway, though.
Right.
So
But anyway,
yeah,
but MS, dude, there isn't a lot of people or doctors with MS, and that hurts because like. If we could clone people, if we could shock nerves to grow back to skin, if there's something out there that could help them, the pharmaceutical companies just put a little bit like the opiates, a little bit, got you hooked, reel you in. Same thing with all these big drugs. They give you, some hope that you're doing better. There's another drug coming out that does better, and then they don't see you wear and tear away like opiates did to people. I know when in my addiction, Keith, if I didn't have my opiates and I was in bed sick, the house could fucking burn to the ground. And I wasn't going nowhere.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or I could go rob a pharmacy at that point because I just needed them.
Yep.
And I could imagine what MS patients feel, or any other patient that has a cure, that they can't fix, or they have it and they're just not putting it out because I don't know if you believe in population control, but I do. So it's just there's a lot of things in life, man, that I think scientists and doctors can figure out. I just think they're limited to what they're allowed to say. You know?
Yeah, bring out. Yeah, it's all
Yeah, I
one-
agree. Like my dad has type A Parkinson's, so it's taking his body and his brain at the same time. They're like, "Yep, nothing we can do." I'm like, "We don't know anything about." I was like, "How do you not know anything about how to slow this down to nothing?" But he
You
went
go to
from
the other
he went from last year, being whatever, to a year later not even knowing who I am.
That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's insane.
So I mean, I hear you, man.
And if you go to other countries, they're like, "What's cancer?" You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like
United-
it's like the
Good.
Magic Johnson thing. In the early '90s, they had no cure for AIDS, but Magic Johnson went to Europe and came back clean.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Yeah. It's all.
you
Yeah,
got enough
money,
money, they'll
in a
find a
sense.
cure. For
You know,
most,
if you go,
I'm not saying they got a cure for everything, but
no, but there's something that's they're getting closer to. But who runs the country? Pharmaceutical, oil, you know. But anyway, back to me. I'm glad to be here today, man, and share my
I'm glad you're
story.
here too, man.
And I'm hoping, someone that listened to me out there today and watches what we drop, can benefit from it. And this is what I'm going to say. If you feel like there's nothing or anybody or anything that you feel can't help you, walk to a hospital, walk to a friend's house, bang on a police car, whatever. Go to a police station, tell them how you feel. Somebody will listen. Go to a fire station, go to a paramedic. Somebody will take you and get you somewhere you need.
If you go to a fire station or a police station, we are obligated to take you somewhere. So
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, well, and also you're doing a great thing. You shouldn't be. You don't need to be ashamed. I think that people are embarrassed. It's so funny, Keith, that addiction mind works, but we get embarrassed to go to treatment when that's actually but we're not embarrassed though to be fucking robbing shit that that everything that's not bolted down for our habit every day.
Well, no offense.
But that's a fucking good thing though.
But
to go to treatment.
Right. For Keith, no offense, but a lot of cops, especially around here, are just assholes. Here's a junkie. He's this, he's that.
I've said it on here a million times. I trust the people in my recovery more than I trust 99.9% of the people I work with.
Yeah.
And how long you been sober?
7 years.
Good for you, man.
7 years. Yeah, he was fucked up on those opiates, man.
Yeah.
And he had plus back in his days, they didn't have, you couldn't go to counseling or whatever, you know what I mean? But then I couldn't believe that. Cops, if you're dealing with a dead body, I'll show or whatever. There's no key, they frown upon it if you go and fucking, so they just sit in the parking lot.
Right. They're tough and tough. I know how you feel, man. You had to be that tough guy. You had to walk the walk. You couldn't say nothing because you'd be a pussy.
Yep.
Well, today I must be the biggest pussy because I go around talking to people.
Me too.
And when I need it,
No, that's though the true tough guy though, is because it's not easy to open up and tell those stories. So I mean, because I could tell when you tell them you're reliving it. So we appreciate it though, man.
But yeah, man, I can't wait to see the whole thing, and we'll have to have you jump back on here again with us, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's only right up the fucking hill. So fucking anytime though, man. Come back on.
Next time the people in the chat want to see Loomis with a bloody lip, though.
All right, no problem.
He's gonna have the fucking bloody lip. I just went low like an idiot. Now I know how to go low on him. I usually get everyone with that.
Dude,
that's a crazy story, but it's also, it's an important, inspiring story, man. To go from that kind of childhood to where you are now is huge. Because I would say 8 out of 10 people would never make it that far, dude. So you're definitely here for a reason. I appreciate you coming on here and talking about it, man.
Well, I appreciate meeting you, man. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yep, absolutely. Though, thank you, Gerard, Keith. Thank you, my man. I'm gonna reach out though to you tomorrow, and then we're just gonna. I guess that it's already been an hour and 20 minutes. But thanks, man. He's dying for a smoke.
Yeah, well, I got to
fucking sit the fuck down. God. Well,
let the man do what he wants to, man. We can sign off from here. But
goodbye, everybody. I appreciate it. Everybody,
peace, bro.
It was that, dude. Best of luck to you. Be safe out there, my friend.
I will.
And Loomis.
Oh, fucker caught me.
All right, brother. That was a good one, dude.
Yeah, no, this is fucking great though. And then wait till you see the fucking and it's great because like I'm not in it. And it's just fucking. It's almost like that soft white underbelly style with some tunes and stuff. It's good. So we'll be dropping that. And then also too, I have clips though of us though that because with the screen record, dude, from stuff that we even do, even from last live, me and you were talking about some good topics. Just clip them all up. So that's
good, dude. We'll throw them up.
And this episode too is going to be fucking the one this one here. Where is it? What the fuck is it? Yeah, I just got to get you in there, Keith. That's what I was waiting on. It's like done.
Sounds good.
It already no, I'm not lying. I could already be done, but I can't. I have to get you on there because look, if I put you were on that at all, like it blocks his name, and this was made a while ago, but I was at the Loom show. But
you don't
need
to put me on there. I don't give a shit. You ain't gonna put me on there.
Yeah, but that's come on. It's not.
All right, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
All right, brother. Be safe. Good seeing you.
I'll talk to you. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for being here. Love yous.